Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to the Octo English Academy podcast, the show where we slow down, go deep, and make English feel like something you belong in, not something you're trying to survive. I'm Sophie, and I am so glad you are here with us today.
Hello, everyone. Jamie here. And Sophie, something you belong in. I love that because I think that's the fear so many learners carry, right? That English is someone else's language, that they're a visitor, that they don't fully belong in it yet.
Yes, and I want to say this directly. If you are using English, you belong in it. It is yours the moment you use it. Every word you speak is a claim you make on the language. It is yours.
Beautifully said. And on that note, if this podcast feels like a place where you belong, please subscribe, like the episode, and share it with one person who needs this kind of space. Because there are learners out there who are afraid, who feel like they don't belong, and this community might be exactly what they need. Help us find them.
Yes, bring them in. Now, today's episode, and I have to tell you, Jamie, I was so excited about this one because it came from such a genuine place. A listener named Tomas sent us a message that said, "Sophie, Jamie, I speak English at work every day. I understand almost everything, but when I try to express myself, my sentences come out very short and disconnected, like sentence, pause, sentence, pause. I can't make them flow. I think I don't know how to connect ideas properly. Can you help?"
Tomas, that is such an accurate self-diagnosis, and it's also one of the most common feelings at the intermediate stage of language learning. You have the words, you have the ideas, but the bridges between them aren't there yet, and so your English sounds like islands, each one fine but separate, with water between them.
And today we are building bridges. 3 of them. The 3 most important connecting words in the English language, the ones that appear in almost every sentence a fluent speaker produces, are and, but, and or. 3 tiny words, and together they carry the weight of almost every human thought.
Think about it. When you want to add something to continue in the same direction, you use and. When you want to introduce a contrast to show that something is different from what came before, you use but. When you want to show alternatives to offer a choice, a different possibility, you use or.
Addition, contrast, alternative. 3 movements, 3 words. And once your brain and your mouth know which movement you're making, the right word arrives automatically without thinking. That's fluency.
No grammar stress. Real life, please. Let's build those bridges.
Let's start with and, because and is the first connecting word most people learn in English, but I don't think it gets the respect it deserves. It looks simple. It is simple, but what it does is extraordinary.
What does and do? And continues, and adds, and says there is more. What came before is true, and now here is something else that is also true. The same direction, more information, more layers, more life.
And is agreement between ideas. The 2 things it connects belong together. They don't fight, they don't contradict. They sit beside each other and say, we are both here, we are both real, and together we make a fuller picture.
Real life, please. 3 and sentences. She works full-time and studies at night. She barely has time to breathe. The meeting was long and unproductive, and everyone left feeling frustrated. I like the quiet and I like my own company, but I also love being with the right people.
Do you feel the movement in those sentences? And is a straight line. It keeps going in the same direction. More of the same world, more of the same idea, more of the same feeling.
And here's something beautiful about and. It's generous. It doesn't make judgments. It just adds. I was tired and happy. These 2 things can coexist. And holds them both without choosing between them. It says both of these things are true at the same time, and celebrates complexity.
I love that. And celebrates complexity because life is complex. We are complex. And is the word that honors that. I was scared and excited. She's difficult and brilliant. The city is loud and alive.
And doesn't resolve tension, it holds it. And sometimes holding tension honestly is the most truthful thing you can do.
Now, but. And but is my personal favorite of the three because but is where the story turns. But is the hinge, the pivot, the moment where something unexpected, something contrasting, something different enters the picture.
Yes, but says what I just told you is true, and now here is something that pushes back against it, or complicates it, or surprises you. But introduces contrast, it introduces tension, it introduces the other side.
Think about how often real life works this way. You describe something, and then reality adds a complication, a twist, a but. I wanted to go, but I was too tired. She tried her best, but it wasn't enough. The plan was perfect, but nothing went to plan.
But is honest about difficulty. But is honest about contradiction. And in language, as in life, the ability to hold a but, to say this is true and this other thing is also true, even though they don't fit perfectly together, that is emotional maturity. That is real expression.
Real life, please. 3 but sentences. I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with your conclusion. The job pays well, but the hours are destroying my health. He's been trying really hard, but progress has been slow, and that's starting to affect his confidence.
Feel the pivot in each of those? The first part goes in one direction, then but turns the wheel, and the sentence ends somewhere different from where it started. That's the magic of but. It creates movement, tension, the sense that something real and complicated is being described.
And but is incredibly powerful in emotional conversations. When someone is struggling and you want to acknowledge their pain and also offer hope, but is the bridge. I know this is hard, but you have come so far. This moment is painful, but it won't last forever. You made a mistake, but that doesn't define you.
But can be the most compassionate word in English when it's used well.
It really can. Okay, or. And or is the word of possibility, of choice, of alternatives. When you use or, you are opening a door and saying, there is not just one path here. There is another option, a different way, another thing to consider.
Or creates space, where and stacks ideas together and but puts them in tension, or separates them and says these are different paths. You can take this one or that one. They exist alongside each other, but not together.
And or is one of the most practical words in daily English. It lives in questions, in offers, in decisions, in instructions. Would you like tea or coffee? Do we fix it or replace it? We can leave now or wait for the rain to stop.
Real life, please. 3 or sentences. You can call me tonight or send me a message tomorrow, whatever works for you. We need to address this now or it will become a much bigger problem later. Is she upset because of something I said, or is this about something else entirely?
Feel the space in those sentences? Or opens things up. It says, the situation isn't fixed. There are options. There are possibilities. Choose, decide, consider. And or also carries a warning sometimes, especially in the second sentence. We need to address this now, or it will become a much bigger problem later. That or is like a door that's closing slowly. Act now or face the consequence. Or in that use is almost a gentle alarm.
I love that. Or as a gentle alarm. Yes. Fix it or it will break completely. Speak now or the moment will pass. There's urgency in that kind of or. The alternative being offered is not a happy one, and the or makes that clear.
So, or can be neutral, offering 2 equally valid choices, or it can carry weight, making clear that one of the options is really not the one you want. Let's do contrast pairs. 3 situations, all 3 words, so you feel how each one changes the meaning and the direction of the same basic information.
Situation 1. You're describing your English level. My English is improving and I feel more confident every week. Addition. Both things are true and they sit in the same direction. Growth plus confidence. The picture keeps getting bigger. My English is improving, but I still struggle with speaking in groups. Contrast. Growth is real, and then but introduces the honest complication, the struggle, the other side of the picture. I can improve my English on my own, or I can join a class. I haven't decided yet. Alternative, 2 valid paths. Neither is better right now, or holds the space open.
Same general topic, 3 completely different emotional landscapes, and is growing, but is honest, or is open.
Situation 2. A relationship.
She's kind and patient, and she makes me feel safe. Addition, pure, stacking beautiful qualities, and is generous here, laying each one beside the last. She's kind and patient, but we want completely different things in life. Pivot. All those good qualities are real, and then but brings the hard truth, the complication that makes the picture more real, more human, more painful. She's wonderful, or at least she used to be. I don't know who she is anymore. Alternative. The or here is heartbreaking in the best way. It offers 2 versions of the same person, the one you knew and the uncertainty of now.
3 words, 3 completely different stories about the same relationship. That is the power of choosing the right connecting word. Situation 3, a work decision. The project is challenging and exciting, exactly what I needed. Addition, challenge and excitement coexist, same direction, more of a good picture. The project is challenging and exciting, but the timeline is completely unrealistic. Pivot, all that good energy and then reality walks in with but, the limitation, the friction. We can push the timeline and deliver something rushed, or we can ask for more time and deliver something we're proud of. Alternative, 2 clear paths, a real decision to be made, or is doing serious work here. It's framing the choice that needs to happen.
And notice in that last sentence, or isn't just offering 2 options. It's making one of them clearly preferable. Deliver something rushed versus deliver something we're proud of. The or holds them both, but the listener knows which path the speaker believes in.
Context and word choice together create meaning. Or frames the choice. The descriptions color the choice. Together, your listener knows exactly what you think without you ever saying, I believe, or in my opinion.
That is advanced communication, using structure to convey feeling without stating it directly. That's what connecting words give you when you truly know them.
Let's also talk about something learners often wonder about. Can you start a sentence with and, but, or? Because many learners were told in school never start a sentence with these words, and they carry that rule around for years.
This rule, yes. Okay, here is the honest answer. In formal written English, academic essays, official documents, it's still often considered cleaner to avoid starting a sentence with these words. But in spoken English, in everyday conversation, in emails between colleagues, in storytelling, starting with and, but, or is completely natural. Native speakers do it constantly.
And that's when everything changed. But here's the thing. Or maybe I'm wrong about all of this. These are real, natural, human sentences. They create rhythm. They create emphasis. They create the feeling of thought unfolding in real time.
So the rule for spoken English and for real communication is use what sounds natural. Use what serves the moment. If starting with but gives your sentence the emphasis it needs, start with but. English is not a test. It's a tool.
English is not a test. It's a tool.
Every time.
Emotional check-in. Jamie, honestly, Which of these 3 words do you think reveals the most about a person's communication style?
That is a fascinating question. I think but, because how a person uses but tells you how comfortable they are with honesty and tension. Some people avoid but completely. They add and add and add, but they never introduce the complication. And that can mean they're avoiding conflict, or they're trying to please, or they're not yet comfortable naming the difficult thing.
And other people, they overuse but. Everything is yes, but. Every positive is immediately qualified, and that can make them sound skeptical or guarded, or like nothing is ever quite enough.
Balance. The balance between and but, between addition and contrast, reveals a lot about how someone sees the world. And learning to use both freely, without avoidance, without overqualification, that's emotional fluency as much as linguistic fluency.
Wow, I didn't expect this conversation to go quite this deep.
We go deep. That's what we do here.
That's what we do. Okay, part 3. Part 3, practical time. Listener participation first. And this time, I want you to use all 3 words. We are going to build one small but complete picture of your English journey using and, but, and or. Ready?
Let's do it.
Say these 3 sentences out loud, filling in the blanks with your own truth. I started learning English because, and now, my English is getting better, but I can blank or I can blank, and I choose to blank. Maybe mine would be, I started learning English because I wanted to connect with more people, and now it feels like a part of who I am. My English is getting better, but I still freeze sometimes when I have to speak in front of strangers. I can let the fear stop me, or I can speak anyway, and I choose to speak anyway.
Say them, your own version, out loud right now, because the bridge you're building between your ideas, that's the bridge you're building between where you are and where you want to be.
Say it with us one more time. Just the 3 connectors, no full sentences. Feel each word. And, more, continue, both true. But, contrast, tension, the other side. Or, choice, alternative, another possibility.
3 words, 3 movements, the grammar of human thought.
Okay, mistake correction. These mistakes are made by people who are working hard and speaking bravely. We see you. We appreciate you. We're just here to fine-tune.
Always fine-tuning, never judging. First common mistake. I hear this a lot. I like coffee, and I don't like tea, and I prefer juice, and I drink it every morning. Let's fix it gently. And is wonderful, but when you chain too many ands together in one sentence, the sentence loses its shape. It becomes one long flat line with no breath, no rhythm, no emphasis. Native speakers naturally break long chains. They use commas, or they break into shorter sentences, or they replace some ands with but or where the meaning allows. Better, I like coffee, but I don't like tea. I prefer juice. I drink it every morning.
The memory trick. And is a workhorse. It can carry a lot, but even workhorses need to rest. Let your other connectors take a turn. Break the chain. Let the sentence breathe.
Second mistake. Learner says, she is smart, but she is kind. Let's fix it gently. But signals contrast. It prepares your listener for something that pushes back against what came before. She is smart, but she is kind suggests that smart people are usually not kind, as if these 2 qualities are opposites. And that's probably not what you mean. These are 2 positive qualities that belong together. That's and territory. She is smart and she is kind. Now the sentence celebrates both.
But is not just for negative things. But it always signals contrast. So ask yourself, am I contrasting these ideas or am I adding them? If adding, and. If contrasting, but.
Third mistake. Learner says, would you like tea or you would like coffee? Let's fix it gently. When or connects 2 options in a question, both parts of the question follow the same structure. You don't switch. Would you like tea or coffee? Or would you like tea or would you like coffee? Both parts have would you like. The structure stays parallel on both sides of or. Mixing structures, one with would you and one without, sounds mismatched.
The memory trick. Or is a balance scale. Both sides need to have the same weight, the same structure. If one side has would you like, the other either matches it or drops it entirely. Keep the balance.
Fourth mistake, and this one is about but in a very specific social situation. Learner says, "Thank you for your help, but I didn't find it useful." Let's fix it gently. In English, especially in polite or professional contexts, putting a strong but immediately after a thank you can feel harsh. It cancels out the gratitude. Thank you, but actually no. Native speakers often soften this. Thank you for your help, I think I need to approach it a slightly different way. Or they separate the thanks completely from the criticism. Express the thanks genuinely first, then separately address the concern.
But is powerful. It redirects. Make sure the thing you redirect is something you want redirected. If your thank you is genuine, don't immediately cancel it with a but. Let the gratitude land before the contrast arrives.
Timing. In language as in music, timing is everything.
Beautifully said. Okay, confidence exercise. Out loud, right now. Say this. My English isn't perfect, and I'm proud of how far I've come. It's still hard sometimes, but I know I can do this. I can stay quiet, or I can speak, and I always choose to speak.
Say it again. My English isn't perfect, and I'm proud of how far I've come. It's still hard sometimes, but I know I can do this. I can stay quiet, or I can speak, and I always choose to speak.
3 sentences, 3 connectors, 1 complete declaration of who you are as a learner, and holding pride and imperfection together, but holding difficulty and belief together, or and then the choice that defines you.
Not perfect, but confident. That is more than enough.
And now our closing story. 1 character, 3 words, a whole life in 3 connecting words.
Her name is Layla. She works as a nurse and has been learning English for 4 years. One evening, she sits on her break and thinks about how far she has come. She thinks about how terrified she was of English, and she came here anyway. She made mistakes, and she kept going, and she asked for help when she needed it. Then she pauses and thinks, some days are still very hard, but I know things now that I couldn't even imagine 4 years ago. And the patients, they understand me. They really understand me. She looks out the window and thinks one last thought. I can give up when it gets difficult, or I can remember why I started. She picks up her cup of tea. She goes back to work, and she already knows which one she chooses.
I came here anyway. I kept going. I already know which one I choose. All of that carried by and, but, and or.
And carried her persistence, but carried her honesty, or carried her choice. 3 words, the whole story.
Let's bring it home. Today, we learned that and adds. It continues in the same direction, stacks ideas, celebrates complexity, holds 2 truths at once.
But contrasts. It pivots, introduces the other side, creates tension, and when used well is the most honest and compassionate word in the language.
Or opens alternatives. It creates choice, frames decisions, and sometimes carries a gentle warning about the path not taken.
Don't chain too many ands. Let the sentence breathe. Use and for addition, but for contrast, not the other way around. Keep or balanced on both sides, and be thoughtful with but after gratitude. Let the thanks land before the turn arrives.
Thomas, this was for you. Your sentences will not be islands anymore. They will be rivers, moving, connected, flowing from one idea to the next, because you now have the bridges.
Please subscribe to the Octo English Academy podcast. Leave us a comment with 1 sentence that uses all 3 words, and, but, and or, about your own English journey. We will read every single one.
English is not a test. It's a tool. And, but, or, however you use it today, it's yours.
Communication first, grammar later. Just keep speaking.
See you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Keep going.